This happened on Friday night. It's not like this was a Saturday game, but Friday night, they lost to Boise State. This is their third consecutive loss in a row, 34-31. It was tied at 17 at half. This is not a game where I feel like criticizing the offense a bunch. Now, I'm gonna, criticize, Jalen Maiden. The ball security needs to improve, based on this game. I think he said this in the post game presser when he was talking to the media about how he needs to have that complete game. There's some times where this season he's had interceptions in the end zone, overthrown guys in the end zone, little things like that. Then there's games like this Boise State game where ball security was an issue. They were at the 1 yard line and there was a fumble. He fumbled later in the game as well. He was the leading San Diego State rusher, 85 yards. But I mean, I give credit to him at the end. He was limping into the end zone, just trying to get back into that game, trying to set up an opportunity if they get the onside kick to go win. And obviously they didn't. But he continued to fight. So yeah, I give credit to him for that. But it was not his best game, and there there needs to be, I think, a little bit better of a running game. I think, yeah, Jalen Maiden, he can do things with his legs. We know that's a weapon. But I'm sorry, when you got another team, they clearly have a running attack. They clearly have in Ashton Genty. The dude had 2 touchdowns, 205 rushing yards. Um, there's big plays happening there for Boise State, and there were some big plays for San Diego State, but it just felt like it was obviously wasn't enough. There weren't as many, it felt like, as Boise. And defensively, I mean, that needs to improve as well. The big plays that they allow on defense, like, that's a little concerning, right? I mean, I get it. UCLA, Oregon State, probably, better athletes, speed. You're going to allow a big play probably. But then it kept going into this game here. And there was a big touchdown run from Genty where they just didn't wrap up. They just got to wrap up better. Browning, the kicker, he missed a field goal in the third quarter. Obviously, they lose by 3 there, so you can point to that one. But I go back, obviously, to the beginning of the game where they fumble and they're so close to the end zone. Just some missed chances, some ball security issues. And now San Diego State, I don't think they're in the best spot. I mean, they'll have a little bit easier of an end to the season just because of the start that they are having to their Mountain West schedule. I mean, and just the stretch in general. I mean, UCLA, Oregon State, Boise State here, Air Force. They don't come back home, I think, until October. So there's a little bit. And the attendance again was less than 15,000, I think, for the actual attendance at Snapdragon. And that was like their red out game. That was supposed to be a highly attended game, but I think that for some fans, especially when San Diego State, it's just not that entertaining of a product. You have the Padres who obviously they have like the superstar players and all that. Obviously, you're not going to you know, sell them, right? Um, but and that probably had to do something with it, and it was on a Friday night. But the student section, in the second half, I mean, it was pretty empty after being pretty full at the beginning. It doesn't look very exciting. And it's not something that I think a lot of fans want to go spend $100 on. Um, More than $100. There are some tickets in the upper deck that were going for like $50. I think the day of Boise State, San Diego State, and it's like, what fans are going to want to go pay for that when they can just go watch it at home? It's not like it's a super exciting. It's not like it's Colorado football that they're going to go watch, right? It's just not. I don't think it's super appealing to go watch in person. And so season ticket holders are obviously going to get pissed off if they already have paid for season tickets, and for if San Diego State lowers the prices this season like they did, I think, last season at the end to try to get more people in the door. So maybe they don't lower the prices this year, and it's something that we have to wait till next year, but something has to change on that. I mean, with San Diego Wave, There's tickets that I think are $10 for their final um, regular season match on October 15th. Quick plug, go get your tickets, San Diego Waves website, social media, go to their tickets, and you can get that there. Kids get in free for San Diego Waves final regular season match. I believe if you get the special $20 ticket from the link that they provide, like little things like that, that will get more people in the door. And now San Diego Wave, that's for me at least, and I think for people that follow that club, that's an exciting product. That's more exciting than I think San Diego State fans viewing the San Diego State Aztecs football team, right? Like for the basketball, for example, exciting product. People show up, right? I know it's less seats than at Snapdragon with VS Arena and all that, but they've got to change something. If they want to get people in the door, don't think that having the same thing, you know, same prices, same, not really that entertaining product, to be honest. Um, Having that continue to be rolled out there, that's not going to, don't expect things to change if things don't change. Things you do don't change, you know? So again, I think more of the attention should be on, as I've said before, on the team on the field, but obviously the attendance thing keeps getting brought up. So I was going to address it. But yeah, next up, Air Force, September 30th, and Air Force is 4-0. So the Aztecs, what we thought maybe was going to be 2 losses in a row if they could beat Boise State. Now it could turn into 4 in a row and be 2-4, 0-2 in conference at the end of this, after this Air Force game. And that would be trouble. That definitely would be trouble because Boise State and Air Force, those are 2 of the best teams in the Mountain West, right? And San Diego State wanted to compete for that. And again, I think that, I don't know if I've said this before, but I think now the Mountain West Championship, it's between the top 2 schools. It's not like Mountain West Mountain and Mountain West West, right? Those were the 2, I think, subdivisions of the Mountain West Conference that they had. I think it's just top 2 in the conference that match up. So that makes it tougher, obviously, on San Diego State. So they've got to turn it around for sure. I think they need to find a little bit better of a running game, preventing the big plays, limiting the turnovers, obviously, the mistakes. And they had some costly ones here against Boise State.